Next, we will discuss Rotterdam Convention 1998. Now, seeing the need for mandatory control, official attending the 1992 Rio Summit adopted Chapter 19 of Agenda 21, which called for the adoption of legally binding instrument on PIC, that is prior informed consent procedure, by the year 2000. Consequently, the FAO Council in 1994 and the UNEP Governing Council in 1995 mandated their executive head to launch negotiation which lead to the finalization of the text of the convention on the prior informed consent procedure for certain hazardous chemical in international trade in March 1998. This convention was adopted and open for signature at a conference in Rotterdam on 10 September 1998 and entered into force on 24 February 2004. The first conference of the parties of the Rotterdam Convention was held in September 2004, resulting in addition of 14 new chemical to Annex 3 and adoption of a new section Annex 6 on arbitration and conciliation. FAO and UNEP jointly performed the secretariat function for the Rotterdam Convention. Article 4 of this convention imposed duty on the parties to designate one or more national authorities that shall be authorized to act on its behalf in the performance of the administrative function required by the convention. Article 7 provides that listing of chemical in Annex 3 will be done on the recommendation of Chemical Review Committee. Article 9 provides that removal of chemical from Annex 3 will be done on recommendation of Chemical Review Committee. Article 10 imposes obligation in relation to import of chemical listed in Annex 3 on each party of the convention. Article 13 deals with what information to a company that exported chemical. In this convention, it was decided that the conference of the parties shall encourage the World Customs Organization to assign specific harmonized custom code to the individual chemical or group of chemical listed in Annex 3 as appropriate, and that is known as globally harmonized system. Each party shall require under this system that whatever a code has been assigned to such a chemical, the shipping document for that chemical bears that code when exported. It was further decided that without prejudice to any requirement of the importing party, each party shall require that both chemical listed in Annex 3 and the chemical banned or severely restricted in its territory are when exported. Subject to labeling requirement that ensure adequate availability of information with regard to risk and or hazard to human health or the environment, taking into account a relevant international standard. It was also laid down that without prejudice to any requirement of the importing party, each party may require that chemicals subject to environmental or health labeling requirement in its territory are, when exported, subject to labeling requirement that ensure adequate availability of information with regard to risk and or hazards to human health or the environment, taking into account relevant international standards. As far as the chemical that are to be used for occupational purposes, each exploring party shall require that a safety data sheet that follow an internationally recognized format, setting out the most up-to-date information available, is sent to each importer. The information on the label and on the safety data sheet should, as far as practicable, be given in one or more of the official languages of the importing party. Next is the strategic approach to international chemical management. The strategic approach to international chemical management is a landmark initiative in international cooperation to protect human health and the environment. The strategic approach provides a policy framework to guide effort to achieve the Johannesburg Plan of Implementation goal by 2020. Chemical will be produced and used in ways that minimize significant adverse impact on the environment and human health. It also acknowledged the essential contribution made by chemical to modern societies and economies, while at the same time recognizing the potential threat to sustainable development if chemicals are not managed soundly.